Oh, this is attempt 3 at making this video. The first time I was out of focus really bad. Second time, the mic shut off before the end of the video. It's 1 o'clock. It's almost 1:30 in the morning. I've been trying to make this video for an hour and a half. I'm sick all day. I'm just now feeling good enough to actually make this video. So let's see how good it turns out. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Dustin, and this video is going to be 3 3D printable mods for the Folger Prusa 2020. These are not necessarily all exclusive to this printer, but most of them are. But you'll see, it'll be great. I should say this printer is fantastic by itself, just stock. It works great, and it works, and it's awesome, and it's great, you know. But these are prints that I think will not only improve quality of your printer, of the print quality, the prints themselves, will actually improve your experience as a user of one of these printers. So I'm going to stop yambling because I've been doing that forever, and let's get on with it. So the first one I think is the most important one out of these three. This one, if you're only going to do one of these, do this mod because it's awesome. And that is this right here. It's an adjustable Z end stop thing. Basically, with this printer stock, and also the FT5 as well, the Z end stop is adjusted with this little clip. Basically, it has a clip that attaches onto the smooth rod. I'll put some B-roll of what it is. And in order to adjust the end stop, you basically have to loosen its clip and then adjust it up and down by hand. Now, this works. It is, by definition, an end stop that you can adjust, and it does work. And for this purpose of this kit being cheap and all that kind of stuff, it does work. But it's very difficult to get the perfect height in order to get the best first layer and all that kind of nonsense. So using this part, which you can see here just easily mounts right onto the X motor, it allows you to use a screw that triggers the Z end stop, which makes it a lot easier to adjust the Z height, basically, or the nozzle height from the bed when homed. Obviously, if you've never messed with one of these printers before, the ideal height is usually a thickness of a piece of paper away from the bed when the nozzle's homed. Roughly, that's about how much distance you want between the nozzle and the bed when you've homed the Z. So using this method, it allows you to adjust very, 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 very finely the height. Now, the other method you can't adjust, but if you're doing it by hand, you're just kind of bumping it up and down and hoping you're getting it right. And when you're playing with, tenths of a millimeter in height, and tenths of a millimeter can affect the first layer very greatly, actually. So this allows you to very finely adjust it. And of course, it does take a little bit of adjustment to, set it somewhere, see if it's okay, actually print something and see how it prints out, and then adjust it from there. But once you set it, it's basically set and forget. It's fantastic. It's very surprising how well you can print, how well your prints stick to the bed when it's set correctly. I've always preached that you should print onto blue painter's tape if you're using PLA. I think that method is the best method if you have trouble sticking to the bed, if you have trouble with filament not sticking to the bed or peeling up or anything like that. But if you have a really, really good first layer height, you can print onto bare glass just like this with no other adhesion, just bare glass, 55 degrees C bed, whatever temperature PLA you're using, and it won't peel up at all. I've had no peeling issues whatsoever. Even for thin things, for long things, corners, nothing will peel up once I have this set perfectly. And it does take trial and error. It's not just set it to this and it'll work perfectly. You got to try it. You have to experiment. These are open source DIY 3D printer kits. It takes a little bit of effort on your part to get it perfect. You need to experiment, play with your slicer settings, the first layer extrusion rates, all that nonsense you have to play with. But once you get it, it works, and it works really, really well. And I think that part right there will improve. It speeds it up, basically. It'll speed up the process on getting everything level, get everything printing, and have really good first layers, which in turn, you have a good print, usually, if you have a first layer that's really good. So if you have a bad first layer, usually you have a bad print. So, you know, it's hand in hand. So recommend that. If you're not going to do anything else, do that print. The next print isn't necessary, but it does help, especially if you're printing tall prints on this machine. That's these parts right here. Those are motor risers, basically. And if you have the stock Prusa 2020 right now, go look. You'll see that this shaft and this coupler are way down here, and they're the only things restricting the build height on this printer. The build height stock on this, I think, is about 6 inches. If you add this, you're gaining like 1.5 inches or so, an inch and a half roughly, of build height, that's free build height. That's not requiring anything else except for printed parts. Assuming you have the screws, which you probably do if you have extra screws. Otherwise, you can go to Lowe's and usually get the screws pretty cheap. They're just M3 by 8 or 10 or whatever, or 12, I don't remember. But yeah, I definitely recommend these. These are awesome just because it gives you extra height and it's free. You don't have to pay anything and you're getting extra height, and it's just great. It's fantastic. The only thing I want to mention is this coupler right here. When you go to assemble this, make sure you put the coupler on the shaft before you put the motor onto this stand, because the coupler does not fit through any of these gaps. And so if you mount the motor and then go try to put it on, it's not going to work. So yeah, that's the only thing. Just keep an eye on that if you go to do that. Last thing I want to mention is going to be these little feet for this printer. These are little spring feet meant for 2020 extrusion. So they're not really specific to this printer, but they do fit on this printer and they work really, really well. Of course, like I said, any 2020 extrusion, anything, whether it's a printer or other device, these spring feet they'll act as spring feet, basically. They'll reduce vibration from the machine to the table, which goes from the table to the walls or whatever. So I definitely recommend adding these to this printer, or the console as well. The console can use them as well. And it will cut down on noise, especially if your printer's noisy. Of course, the biggest cause of noise on these printers is usually the stepper drivers not being tuned correctly and your motors are just whining really loud, or bad bearings. Those are also loud as well. But for the most part, this will reduce a lot of noise, which if you're trying to make your printer as quiet as possible, definitely recommend doing this. They're super easy. You can print a bunch of them really quick, and they do quiet everything down a lot. So that was the top three that I think are definitely important to not only the quality but the functionality of your printer. Of course, there's a million other ones out there, like this LCD that I have right here. It's got some 3D printed mounts for it. This PVC pipe spool holder that I made has some printed clips that hold the PVC pipe onto the top of the machine. I even have some of these L brackets. They're not even 3D printed. They're just regular metal L brackets from the store that's I've used to try to strengthen the frame even more than it already is. And it's already a strong frame, but I just feel comfortable with L brackets on everything. So not necessary, but I do recommend adding that if you have L brackets. It's not going to hurt anything. It's only going to make it better. So like I said, go on Thingiverse, go on whatever website you use, and you can punch in Folger Prusa 2020, Prusa 2020 mods, whatever. And you'll find a ton of them. That's, heat sink fans or print cooling fans, mounts for different things. You'll find all sorts of nonsense on there. And like I said, this printer is easy to mod. There's a lot of mods. It's got the biggest community of any of the printers. So definitely recommend checking out some of those mods if you haven't already. And if you have a favorite mod that I didn't talk about, feel free to put the link in the comments or the title and the creator, and I'll see if I can find it that way. I normally don't like comments with links, but I'll allow it on this video just because the nature of it, linking to certain things is kind of hard. So anyway, I don't really have anything else to say. This printer's awesome regardless. Stock, it's awesome. It's just a good printer. It's at the price you're paying. It's the cheapest printer. It's the best-selling printer. It's got the biggest community. It's just a good all-around printer. And with these mods, I think it improves it way more, especially if you're using it. Especially if you're a beginner, it makes it really easy. And of course, free height, no vibrations, easy Z adjustment. It's a win-win-win for all of us. But like I said, go check out other mods. There's plenty out there. So otherwise, I'm gonna stop talking now. If this video's helped you, feel free to give this a like. That makes other people find it easier, which is good. The more people that see this stuff, the more people know. I like helping people. That's what this channel is for. Like I said, feel free to comment with your favorite mod if you have one. And also, feel free to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Then, you know, this is a popular printer. I do Folger Tech stuff. I work for Folger Tech. A lot of you guys know that already, but if you don't, I do. So I do, you know, this kind of stuff all the time, especially with their printers. So, yeah, I got nothing else really to say. It's what it is. This is printer mods. You can print mods. You can print parts for it on it. Like, that doesn't blow your mind. I don't know what will. I'm going to stop talking now. It's early. It's 1:30 in the morning. I need to go to bed. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And until the next one, I will see y'all later.